friends, Ryan from Barn 3 here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can program one of our OXU pedals to work with the HX1 from line 6. Now right off the bat we want to give a huge shout out to our new friend David Lee, who is participating in the OXU program, where he sent us his pedal, we're using it to film this video, and when we're done with it we're going to send it back to him with a free OXU. As of today, while we're filming this video, we still have spots available, so if you want to learn about how you could get a free pedal from us, head over to barn3.com/OXYOU. Now, before we get into the programming of this pedal, I just want to explain that any of our OXU pedals will work with the HX1, including our OXU 3 and our OXU standard. However, line 6 only allows you to program 2 foot switches, so on the OXU 3, this foot switch would be unused, and the OXU standard is meant for wider pedals, so today we're going to be using the OXU Mini. A few other things to keep in mind. Number one, if you're choosing to use the optional OXU mounting plate, make sure you do the programming of the pedals first before you mount it to the plate, because there's a slide switch on the back side of the OXU that we need access to, which gets covered up once you mount your pedal. Secondly, every single OXU standard and OXU Mini comes with this custom Barn 3 power adapter, but this is only used with Boss pedals, so we will not be using it in this video. Finally, every single OXU that we sell comes with a custom Barn 3 TRS cable that measures about 11.5 inches long, and if you have a pedal board with slats or openings, this should work just fine for you. But if you need to route the cable on top of your pedal board around the back side of the pedal, this is going to be a little bit short because the HX1, unlike most effects pedals, has its aux input on the side of the pedal. So in this case, you're probably going to want to look for a cable that's about 12 inches long. But in today's video, I'm just going to route the cable in front of the pedal just so it's out of the way. Okay, let's get started programming our pedals. The first thing we need to do is on the OXU, there's a slide switch on the back side of the pedal, and what we want is for this pedal, we're going to slide it all the way to the left so it's on the N setting. Also, on the bottom of the pedal, there's a little slide switch, and we want that also all the way to the left on the NSM setting. Okay, so before we do the final programming, I'm just going to go over some of the default settings on the HX1, which will help explain why I'm going to make the programming choices that I am. So obviously, we're in a preset here, and this is our active bypass. Right now, this switch is set up as tap tempo, and if we press and hold it, we go into the flux mode, where when we press this sort of acts like a built-in expression pedal that you can set with different ramp speeds, and you can assign it to a ton of different stuff. Really cool. We'll go back into the tap tempo here. And then if we press these two buttons together, we go into preset mode, where we can scroll our presets up or down. So this has 127 presets built in by default, and my guess is that most of us aren't going to be using 127 presets. We're probably going to be using this as sort of a filler pedal where we might need a rotary effect for like 5 seconds of one song and a flange for like 10 seconds of another song, and we don't want to add those two pedals to our pedal board. So what I'm going to be doing is, in the programming choices that I'm going to make, I'm going to try to make this as efficient as possible utilizing the aux switch. So to get into the programming, what we're going to do is we're going to press the effect knob for about a second. And the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go over here until we see preset minimum and preset max. And in my case, I'm going to scroll all the way to the end until I get to 125 to 127. That gives me the 3 presets that I sort of created earlier. Now, obviously, you might have presets 1 through 3 or somewhere in the middle. We're going to go now over to where we see pedal jack. And by default, it's set up for expression / FS4. We're going to change that, so it's FS3/4. And on FS3 and FS4, they are set for previous and next by default, which means scrolling down in presets or scrolling up in presets. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change FS4 to be the flux button. We're going to leave FS3 as previous, and I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to hit home, can go back out. So now what we have is, if I use this, that is our flux. This is just our cycling our presets, and since I limited it to the 3 that I need, it's only 3 presets to cycle through, and then we still have our tap tempo. So in theory, what we could do is, here I have a delay effect. I could dial in my delay, and I still have access to the flux. So I think this is really an optimal setup for this pedal because we're essentially saving time. We no longer have to press and hold the tap tempo button to switch over to the flux mode and then press it again to switch back to the tap tempo mode. We don't have to press the two foot switches together to enter preset mode. Everything is now on the surface and right in front of us. So I hope you found this video informative. If you have any other questions, please visit us at barn3.com. And once again, huge thanks to our new friend David Lee for sending us his pedal to borrow. We're just going to leave you with a short clip of him playing, and thanks so much for watching.